Our next stop in Australia was Brisbane, so we hopped onto the Greyhound and made our way there. Our hotel was called the Madison Tower Mill Hotel, and luckily for us it was only a short walk away from the bus station, although we did have to carry our bags up a big set of stairs which wasn't ideal. So this is the room we have in Brisbane. It's really nice. Alright. We have a nice comfy, well, not that comfy actually, an alright mattress. And then we have a balcony as well, which is a first for us. So yeah. And then I'll show you the bathroom, which is just being done up, which is nice because we weren't expecting it. It's small but nice and clean and nice and modern. So yeah, I'll be here for 4 days, doing various stuff around Brisbane. To get into the city centre we had to go down another set of stairs called Jacob's Ladder, and at the end of the day it wasn't a fun climb back up to the hotel. We explored the city centre, which was full of tall skyscrapers with a mix of some older buildings, before crossing to the other side of the river to enjoy some time at the south bank, where there is a man-made beach and lots of green spaces to rest at. After spending some time exploring, we headed back to the hotel to watch the sun go down, before going back out to see Story Bridge lit up on a night. The next day we got up early and headed out to Australia Zoo for the day. It's approximately an hour away from Brisbane and you can easily fit a day trip here during your stay. The first stop of the day was at the Wildlife Care Centre, where you can have a chance to watch the vets conduct operations or health checks on any number of animals in the zoo. During our visit we got the chance to see the vets looking after a young joey which was getting some routine health checks. We then went to the main entrance of the zoo to head in. Australia Zoo is most well known for being the life project of Steve Irwin and his family. We were both from a generation that had watched the crocodile hunt regularly on TV growing up, and it was great to see all the love and care that had gone into the zoo even after Steve had passed away. We started the day heading towards the koala exhibit, which is on the way to the Crocoseum, but more on that later. We had bought tickets which included the extra bonus of being able to have a photo with one of the koalas. It was nice to be informed that the koalas used in the photos were regularly rotated, and if a koala wasn't happy they wouldn't make them take the photos. Also, a portion of the extra money paid for this experience went back into a foundation to help other koalas in the wild, which at the minute are struggling due to the recent years of wildfires. The next area we came to was where you can feed the wallabies and kangaroos. To build up our confidence, we started with the wallabies and then made our way up to the kangaroos. Being that close to these animals made you realise just how big they were, and it was actually quite intimidating at first, before we realised just how timid and calm they were. We then continued around the zoo into the Asia area where you could see the elephants, before entering an open area where you can see lemurs and tortoise. Heading back out, we saw one of our favourite animals, the red panda, which was actually really easy to spot for once. The last area we went to was the Africa exhibit, which had a large savanna area containing a number of different animals, including giraffes and rhinos. Along with the large open area, there was a couple of smaller areas, with our favourite being the meerkat enclosure. We made our way back to the front of the zoo on the complimentary buses and walked to the Crocoseum to get a good seat for the crocodile and bird show, which you absolutely can't miss during a visit. The Crocoseum is what sets Australia Zoo apart from any other zoo you'll ever go to and really keeps the essence of Steve alive in the zoo. You get to watch an amazing bird show which serves as a warm-up for the main event, the crocodiles. Now, we'd read quite a bit of what was involved in the show, but when you see it for yourself, you really can't believe it. It was completely mind-blowing to see these skilled handlers expertly manoeuvre around the crocodile and really demonstrate what makes them an apex predator in Australia. Not only do they show you what they can do, but they give you so much fascinating information about the crocodile, and a lot of it we would have never known had we not been to Australia Zoo.
Whoa. You have a go at that. Give him a round of applause. He's chilling out, but if I move this way, straight away he turns. But if I jump back in the water, he can't help himself. He has to come back to the water. He has to get the animal out of his territory, but also the animal that he possibly wants to eat. I'm a medium to large size mammal. He can easily take something down that's probably twice my size. So I fall straight within his food range. So we'll try and bring him out over here. So if he really wants to, he can strike out and hit this fence in one go. So if I go quiet, I'm nervous. Well, you've got to come out slower, yeah? On me, boy. Look at the fish. Couple of legs. Oh, give it up for him. As soon as they hatch out of their egg, they start to do what we call the tail walk. So he's going to launch himself vertically upwards, straight up and out of the water. So once he's locked onto the food item, he plants his feet, builds up the power, and launches himself. He gets over half his body length straight up and out of the water. So pictures. You guys hear that popping sound? That was his jaw pressure. He's got no lips, he's just bone on bone. So that is something you have to keep in mind on when you're up in North Australia. You've got to be wary of that tail walking croc. Now, if you can imagine out in the wild, a pig gets too close to the water's edge, Graham strikes out, grabs it on the head, and then immediately pulls it back into the water. Of course, that animal's going to start to put up a little bit of resistance, and Nero's providing that by putting a little bit of tension on the rope. But of course, Graham, with that enormous amount of weight in his body, his objective really is to get that animal and drag it under the water, because any animal in that state of panic is going to struggle to hold its breath.
We finished the day seeing the last few exhibits we hadn't quite had time to do before the show started, and then headed back to Brisbane. We both had an amazing day at Australia Zoo and would definitely suggest that you fit it into your itinerary when visiting Brisbane. The next day we got back on the Greyhound to go to our next destination, but unfortunately not everything went to plan. If you want to know more about our trips in Australia and what comes next, please subscribe and look out for our next video in the future.